Demonstration with Stephen Daniel and Juvenal.
My name is Stephen Daniel. I'm one of the founders of Quantum Techniques, and I'm here with Juvenal, and we're going to demonstrate how we actually do this work. A lot of people wonder what's going on the other end of the phone. Well, normally I'm in a tank top and shorts. I'm sacrificing today. But this is actually what we're doing because whether Juvenal's in Hawaii or in Australia, we're in the same quantum field. And you're going to see us touching spots on our body that correspond to various communicational pathways. And if we were there hands-on, he might touch some of those. And we actually then send charts out. You can ask for those charts by emailing me, Stephen@quantumtechniques.com, that we send to people via email where they know where some of these parts are in addition to just reading the treatment codes. We also record our sessions normally and then send that recording in a compressed file because our intention is to teach people how to do this on their own. So we actually haven't worked on this at all. And go ahead and describe what we want to work on today.
Well, I'm a hairstylist, and so consequently my hands, my arms are always up in the air, so to speak. And I get this acute pain on my neck and shoulders quite often. I get massage therapy like every day, every week, once a week. And that helps a lot. That keeps me, movement nice and free. But 2 days into working at it again, it comes back, and it's almost like a chronic, so to speak, type of, condition that I have. I swim also, and that helps, but it continues to be, it's there, I feel it. So that's what I'm here for, to see if you can help me with that.
Yeah. And Juvenal has a much healthier lifestyle than most people in terms of diet, in terms of exercise every day, walking, swimming every day. And so what we know is it's not something that just a clean lifestyle would fix. And you've done other things that haven't resolved it. And you said it's been there 5 or 6 years.
About so, yeah. I also do a practice called somatics, which is some yoga type of movement, but they are a lot easier than yoga. They're not quite so strict, and a lot of breathing exercises and stuff. And of course, that maintains my body in good shape. But for example, when I feel it the most, it's really when I go to bed, when I go to sleep.
Okay.
I have the tendency of sleeping on my side, and that's forgiven. I can't do that. I mean, I could, and I do. And 10 minutes later, I'm totally awake because the pain wakes me up, and I have to move. And so I have started to sleep on my back, but that's difficult for me because I never, it's been a long time since I've done that. So
let me just tell you one technique. If you need to sleep on your back,
yeah.
and you don't want to sleep on your left side, get an empty spindle like a thread and just tape that with tape on that side. As soon as you roll into it, it'll wake you up or get you to move, and after a month, you'll have trained yourself not to roll on that side.
Is that right?
It's a really
tape
nice thread? We don't need the thread, but just
Okay.
empty spool
Okay.
or a block. You're just taping
yeah,
something
yeah,
here
I got
that
it.
there'll be a discomfort when you roll over, and that's really a very effective way of training yourself.
Okay.
But yeah, let's go into this, and you're going to see me do some muscle testing. And normally, what we teach is like, I want to be healthy, I want to be sick. Okay, I'll do that a little, but that's more of a demonstration. I do something down here that's much faster, that I just feel the resistance in my arm. But if we just start with that and just say, I want to be healthy.
I want to be healthy.
I want to be sick.
I want to be sick.
Okay, so say you're not reversed. And if you're reversed, we got to fix that first.
Okay.
And you don't have to move the hand because I'm actually doing it for you on the end of the phone. The one thing I would always have you do is hold all the fingertips together, put it 2 inches above the belly button.
Okay.
And it stays there the whole time we're testing. The value of that is, we're in a theater, and let's say there was a bunch of pesticide residues that were reversing both of us, or even reversing one of us. If we're not both holding this, we can't trust our results. And even if I hit a hot topic, let's say emotionally, if we're both holding that, it won't screw up the results. So each of these little testing things is critical to get good results. Okay?
Okay.
Something you said, I'm just curious. If I just check right now, that shoulder I want to be healthy, that shoulder I want to be sick, it's reversed. So anytime there's tissue that's reversed, it won't heal. The meridians are spinning backwards. Okay? So I'm just going to tap the side of the hand under the nose, thinking about the shoulder. That shoulder I want to be healthy, that shoulder I want to be sick. For now, I corrected reversal. And it's the left shoulder?
Right.
Where-
Well, it moves, but right
Moves.
now it's the, yeah.
Okay, it's more the left shoulder.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is, if I was in a different continent, I was going to say planet, I already am there, but if I touch the shoulder, and the next thing I'm going to check is that shoulder in parasympathetic recovery, or is it locked into sympathetic overdrive? So if I do this, put my hand on my forehead and I sweep it over my head, reach back at my belt line, go down to the tailbone, I want to be healthy, and if I would have done it this way, it's not in sympathetic overdrive. So it's not like it's locked in a fear or trauma state. Okay, that'll also block healing. Now, something that we do against the shoulder pain, and so we know there's an inflammation issue there, I'm going to test you on foods and pathogens because we always do.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say, against that shoulder, ingestants I want to be healthy, ingestants I want to be sick. So you're not eating something like nightshades that's keeping it inflamed. Inhalants want to be healthy, inhalants want to be sick. And again, you run a natural salon, so you're not getting the nails and the other stuff. Yeah, contactants want to be healthy, contactants want to be sick. Injectants want to be healthy, injectants want to be sick. And if I check this for EMF, you're clear. So our major toxin fields are clear. And I'm going to demonstrate what we would always do is, or let me bring another point. What causes a problem is often a very different issue than why will it not heal. Okay? So even if I touch the shoulder and I say fighting a virus, okay, it's clear. Okay, if I check for hidden virus, that's clear. Fighting a bacteria, I get a no, hidden bacteria is clear. We're not showing a fungal field. We're not showing parasites, protozoa, okay, and we're not showing mycoplasma. You would think, okay, well then we don't have a pathogen field. But we've developed something called a curtain scan. And the best way to think about that is, you know, the body thinks it's got all communication with that shoulder, but it doesn't.
Right.
Obviously, the body normally heals itself. And so it's not seeing something. I'm not going to go into the depths of what a curtain scan or lock and key is, but what I want to do is clear all pathogen frequencies with that shoulder tissue. And I'm thinking everything in the shoulder. Okay. So if I just do that, I'm going to clear a lock and key for virus in the shoulder, bacteria, fungal, parasite, protozoa, and mycoplasma. Okay. So let's check this. Okay, fighting a virus, yes. And see, what we just did is remove a curtain. The body couldn't see the virus. We're going to go back and rescan some other things because the body's seeing something it wasn't before. So if we say fighting a virus, yes, more than 1, 2, 3, 4. Have they been there more than 1 year, more than 2 years? So you've had some viral issues, and that's often what happens when you have a chronic issue, is that it kind of start to heal, and then a viral field goes there because it's a weak link. It's not in good communication with the body. And then you've got these hidden inflammatory processes there. Actually, if we come back, if we want to do it, if I say overall, you want your body to be a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10 for general inflammation. Okay, so is you're more than a 1? Is it more than a 2? If I check that as a curtain, you only have a 2 of 10. But again, you don't have other pain issues. You know, you don't eat a lot of sugar and the things that cause inflammation. So if we ask, if I just check this, should I clear the viruses first? Let me just clear those. And if I check, they're not a brain virus, okay, they're not in a major gland or organ, they're in tissue. I want to see what's the tissue, okay? I want to see if it's just the shoulder to start with. But if I check ligaments want to be healthy. So there's viral tissue in the ligaments. Okay, tendons I want to be healthy. There's viral issues in the tendons. If I check joint capsule, that's okay. Cartilage, that's okay. Muscle, that's okay. Nerve tissue, that's okay. So it's connective tissue. If I think about the fascia, so all the nerve tissue, the connective tissue, is involved in that shoulder, okay? So if we check, we just show the shoulder where this virus is, show the body where the virus is. If I check here, there's still a viral field, and it's here. So it's in the throat, ears and sinuses, okay? And you actually show a virus in a cranial nerve. So I'm just gonna go through individually. 1 is clear, 2 is clear, 3, 4, and 6 are clear. 5 is. Okay, 7 is not, and that would probably mean there's some sinus stuff that goes on occasionally that your body doesn't track. Okay, 8 is clear, 8B, 9 is clear, 9 is not clear, okay. So 9's not clear, the vagus nerve is not clear, 11, 12 is not clear. Okay, this virus is resonating somewhere else in your body, challenging you? No. Okay, fighting a bacteria. Okay, just going to recheck. Okay, and here. Now I'm going to go back because we opened up the curtain and try that again. Ingestants against that are clear. Inhalants are clear. Injectants are not. Okay, are any of these man-made? No. And that's real common with a joint that won't heal. Years ago, I was evaluated by 3 surgeons that said we got to operate on both elbows and wrists because I had so much inflammation and pain. And I found a lot of spider bite and scorpion. I'd done a lot of construction over the years, had accumulated in those joints and worked on them for about 3 months. They healed up completely, no surgery. So we're looking for all the things that are blocking that. Something else that I do with a structural issue is I want to see is the body keeping track through all the informational pathways that we know of? There's a lot we don't know of that shoulder. So I'm going to check, is that shoulder connected to all the organs and glands that we use for the right Chinese pulse point? I get a yes. The left one, no. So I'm going to find out which one. I'm just testing down a list. Okay. So the shoulder's not in contact with the kidney. Okay. And the kidney field regulates fluids in the body. So that means it's almost like having a dry shoulder.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I'm going to check the shoulder also with all the brain engines, and those are the charts that we send out people. So it's connected with the medulla, with the motor cortex, with the limbic, with the pons, but not with cerebellum. Okay. And the cerebellum controls body chemistry. So if you run your finger up the back of your neck, there's a little indent just before the bump at the base of the skull.
Yep.
Okay, that's your cerebellum. Something that's going to be helpful for you is to take a full range of motion in any direction with the shoulder, touch there, release, tap above both ears 5 times. And that's an adaptation out of Neuralink. Okay, and even doing this, and you're thinking about reconnecting, you know, this tendon, ligament, fascia issue with the body's healing intelligence to the cerebellum. Okay, so we're going to check, is it involved with, it's connected with the hippocampus, cell memory, amygdala. Okay, so we already found some things offline. Okay, I want to check it and see, is it connected with all of the cranial nerves? So I'll check that. With the shoulder, it's connected to 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5. Again, 7's off. Okay, so the way you would do that, again, touch the shoulder, and if you do this, yeah, and then tap over the ears, and do it the other way, that's connecting it with cranial nerve 7. Yeah. So if we check again, I'm going to check 8 is clear, 8B, 9 is clear, 10 is not. So again, the vagus nerve, if you know that spot we touched, if you go on each side of that about 1 inch and you dig your fingers and it's kind of tender, that's the vagus nerve spot.
Okay.
So I would touch the shoulder, the vagus nerve spot, tap above the ears 5 times. And this is what I would be doing on the phone, just with our charts, teaching how to do that. And we're going to check the shoulder. Okay, it's in with 11, it's in with 12. Okay, so there's one other thing I want to check. It's fairly new. It doesn't come up a lot. And these here are charts that we've made or adapted from other brilliant healers. So I'm going to check the shoulder with all the sutures. Okay, clear, 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 clear. So it's not on with a Bregma suture. If you put your palm right here, where that end of your little finger, middle finger goes, okay, touch that, shoulder, tap above the ears. No, I want this finger where that ends at the top.
Oh, right here?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Then touch that, shoulder, tap above the ears. Okay, and we'll check the shoulder again. Okay, so I'm going to do some other structural things I do, because we do a lot of structural work over the phone. And what I'm looking at now is something called tensegrity. When the body is healthy and balanced and you take a fall, you don't get an injury. I mean, look at these NFL guys getting slammed time after time, and 95% of the time they get up. If they had, let's say, a weak kidney from an infection or dehydration or a toxin, that will cause an imbalance in the body, and they're much more prone to injury. So I'm going to go through and say what's going on with what organs and glands. This may show us something, because we're always looking for an inroad into information that we don't have. So if I check, is it muscles controlled by the pituitary, the large intestine, the stomach? And I know you've had a history of stomach issues. This big muscle back here that destabilizes the shoulder is controlled by the stomach.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So in this field, I want to see which of these brain engines, and see, this also connects the neck flexors. Okay, so a lot of the shoulder stability is the stomach field.
Okay.
If I were to ask, is the most stressed organ in your gland your stomach? Yes. If on a scale of 1 to 10, is it more than a 1, more than a 2, more than a 3, more than a 4? It's a 4 of 10. So that's your weak link. That's what's destabilizing this.
Okay.
So we're going to put that back online. So if we check, and again, I touch the stomach, I could touch over the stomach, or I could touch the stomach pulse point. I'll show you that. See, there's the stomach pulse point right there.
Okay.
And it's a light touch on the right wrist. So if I do that, I'm going to check that against those brain engines. Clear, 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 cerebellum's not. So again, the body's having trouble holding that body chemistry. So I would touch there in stomach, tap above the ears 5 times. And if I check against stomach again, over hippocampus, amygdala, it's also off with cell memory. So if I, touching the back of an earring and go back over that little bone,
Yeah.
that's the cell memory spot.
Okay.
So I would touch the stomach, the cell memory spot, tap above the ears. Okay. Now we're going to check, is there more? Is there anything with thyroid, thymus, thalamus, small intestine, gallbladder, bladder, lung, spleen, pancreas, adrenals, hypothalamus, heart, liver, kidney? If I check here, you no longer show the structural imbalance just from alerting the body. Now at the end, I give a code, and the code has all of this in it. But I like to teach a little bit and show people how to put that back on.
Okay.
So the things we talked about today, we'll burn you a copy of this, and then if you're having trouble with that shoulder, or even every day, it takes you about 4 minutes, reset all of that. Because what'll happen is if you keep resetting it, the informational pathways strengthen. So example, right now, you get a little stomach bug, you're gonna have a lot of pain. Okay, what if we get this system strong? You're not gonna be as vulnerable to knocking off those informational pathways, okay? When the body loses track of cell memory, that's its original blueprint. So it's like every, 10 seconds, the body scans itself and says, oh, is something out of line? Is there a virus? Do we have, cancer cells? What do we need to do to change something? Am I dehydrated? If you're not holding cell memory, the body didn't have the blueprint. See? Now, something else that we might have done, and we didn't do it today, but we usually have, you have a little blood sample that you hold next to the skin. It helps us find certain things. Virus, things like that. Also mycoplasma, parasites, some kind of DNA damage. It's interesting, if I check, I want to do another scan to make sure, but I don't think you've got DNA damage in that shoulder. And so that means it's not a hardware issue, it's a software issue. I'm going to scan the tissue specifically. We have so many scans, I don't remember them. So I'm going to go back into that tissue. I'm going to clear it for DNA damage, and let's check. Yeah, you're not showing DNA damage in the shoulder.
Great.
Right now, what are you noticing with the shoulder?
I'm sorry? Well, right now it feels great.
Okay.
It feels loose.
Okay, was it tight at all before we started?
Yeah, I did a little bit.
Okay,
It was a little bit.
so that's how quickly, especially things that are software, are. We have 2 Rottweilers, and one of them had a parasite infection that weakened their kidneys, and she would have trouble with her back legs. And I would treat that, take about 2 seconds, boom, jumping around, she's fine. But just putting it back online, and keep putting it back online until that pathway strengthened.
Okay.
So if I ask, is there something else here that we should look at? No. I want to try something. Functional anti-inflammatory agents, okay, that's testing good. Let's check and see if there's any non-physical issues you're holding in your shoulder. So if we ask, do we have 100% of the physical information and pathways for healing? Yes. Do we have 100% of the non-physical pathway? No. Okay. And if we think about the symptoms, okay, it was frozen, and it's been going on for 5 or 6 years. If I ask, was this in a specific relationship? Yes. Okay. Can you think of any relationship 5 or 6 years ago that you felt either frozen out of, like a family member or girlfriend, or you just didn't feel like you were able to move ahead with?
Well, I could think about like a week ago, or 2 days ago.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, an easy one.
Okay.
5 years ago, well, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, I went through a divorce. So,
Okay. Okay.
have I let that go? Yes, I have.
Okay.
There are certain things there that are not totally complete, but yeah, it's pretty much over.
Well, let's ask. Was this about that relationship? No. Was it about another love relationship? Yes. Okay. So is this a fear field? If we just ask what's the emotion, is it a fear field? No. Okay, a sadness, terror, anger? Okay, it's a rage field. Well, let's ask, is that primarily your rage? No.
Okay, so that's my daughter's mother, probably.
Okay, so let's ask a question. Okay, and this is, I'm going to do a fast demonstration on this. If you go to our website, quantumtechniques.com, in our shopping cart, you can find I think a two-part teleclinic series on frozen emotional fields. This is really important for those who do EFT and other trauma work. If you do it but you don't realize it's not your emotion, it doesn't move. So if we ask, what percent of the rage in that shoulder is actually your creation from inside of you? Okay, more than 5, more than 6. 6% of the rage in that shoulder is yours. How much did you catch from a female? Yes, okay. More than 1? 94% of the rage that's frozen in that shoulder is from one female.
Whoa.
Is it your daughter's mother?
Right.
Yes. See, most people, as soon as you put it out there, they go, oh, I know what that is. Okay. Do we have permission to release that? Yes. Okay. And I know that it didn't freeze out your whole life because you've moved ahead, you've got a healthy relationship, beautiful young wife. I mean, so it's not like it disabled you, but it went somewhere. When I talk about my elbows and what they want to do the surgery and healing that with some grapeseed extract and our treatments, I also it wasn't safe to reach out because of a relationship I was in. It wasn't safe to reach out for love. I had to heal that emotional part as well. What we do with a frozen emotional field is we simply recognize it and we say, I resign.
I resigned.
Okay. And because the unconscious can't hear the negative in affirmations, thinking specifically of the shoulder, and let's just think about the metaphor. And the tissue that was reversed, oh yeah, that's right, it's connective tissue.
Right.
You know, it's not muscle, it's not nerve, it's connective tissue. Okay?
Literally.
Right, right. So what we say is, you know what, my body is a receptacle or a container only for all the love.
My body is receptacle and container only
for the love, joy, peace, health, abundance, and light
the
Creator has made.
The Creator has made.
What I'd like for you to do is, anytime there's that tension, and you know how to muscle test, ask, is this a frozen emotional field?
Okay.
Usually when we've been doing that, it becomes an unconscious reflex. So if someone is angry at you now in the shop or at home, it may go there.
Okay.
And if you, again, pattern yourself every time to just send it away, this isn't mine, and I've resigned from trying to make the world safe by containing, you know, angry females' rage.
Right.
I did that for a while. It's a bad job. Bad job. But as you do that, you'll repattern that where you don't hold trauma there anymore either.
I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally understand that.
So if we ask, do we have 100% of the information and cooperation for clearing this? I'm getting a yes. So what I would do is, like we have our clients do, just write the code down.
Okay.
And I'll give you the code. The way we get the code, initially it's very mechanical. We teach that in basic foundations. And you would touch a test point on yourself, like this is the stomach one. And if that tested strong, depending on how there's a whole process for that, then we know that the corresponding treatment point for that's the stomach meridian, under the eye. Now, after you've done this a lot, you've created the field, which we have 100% of the information, we have 100% cooperation. I can just see the code. And most people, our practitioners, can just see the code. So let's write this down.
Okay.
And people who have similar joint issues are welcome to use this same code in a borrowing benefits method. They can test for themselves if they're not sure, but intuitively they think, yeah, I've got some of that issue. They can use your code for their healing. So we'll read this. It is SHIF G50 IF G50 SH IF EB IF EB SH IF G50 IF G50 SH IF OEAC 9G, and then a UN SH UN doesn't need a chakra pattern. And one of the things I always tell my clients, any thoughts or anything else that comes up while we were doing that, because usually it's from the divine and we need to address it. Anything that came up today?
Well, the only thing that came up after we did the treatment was that the trigger points. I knew that when there is something, when there is some conflict with another, person, female or male, it doesn't matter. Usually, it just goes there. It definitely. When you said that, I said, "Oh, I got it. Now that's what's going on."
Right.
So it aggravates the point to a level that is unbearable at times.
Right.
And then once I let that go, it releases a little bit. It still is there, but it's not quite as acute.
But look at that, the message in that, like with my elbows. Angry women, it's not safe to reach out and connect.
Right.
It's always a metaphor there.
Right.
Yeah.
So that certainly came up when we were doing the treatment. So.
Well, good. Yeah. And what I would do then is muscle test. I would read that code twice, 3 times a day.
Okay.
I want to come back to one other thing. The viral fields that we found, I want to ask, are they blocking key cell surface receptors? Yes. That's another scan. And I'm not going to go into depth. Somebody else will do that in an example today, a little bit more, but that's another product we're going to be training and putting in DVD style. But what it means, and I'll use an example, if I say anti-inflammatory agents, and I test that like I do toxins, those agents want to be healthy, those agents want to be sick, they test fine. If I say functional anti-inflammatory agents, meaning are they getting through the cell wall, test bad. Okay? If I ask how many things are blocking that inflammation pathway through the cell wall, more than 1, it's more than 6, more than 7, it's 7. If I clear the number, is it 7? Okay. Are any of those man-made? No. Are all 7 viral fields? Yes. Okay. Are these 7 viral fields blocking other key cell surface receptors? Yes. And I don't need to know more, so I'm just going to clear that and I'll put that in the treatment. Even though you've written the treatment, we're still in the field. So let's just do this and let's see where it was being blocked. And the endocrine system almost always comes up. Okay, pituitary. Okay, thyroid. And you can see this is just a faster, easier way for me to test than this, just because I can just feel it in my wrist. Okay, bladder, liver, kidney, hypothalamus, okay, prostate, okay, anything here, okay, bone marrow. Okay, good. First time I met my wife and her mother, they came to visit me, and she thought I had this like Tourette's thing going. She goes, ask her daughter, what is that he's doing? Has he got a twitch? And now our daughter twitches too, so it's okay. We twitch together. Well, good. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And, I'd like to, let's follow up in a couple of weeks. Let me know how you're doing.
I will do that, certainly. And thank you so much for having me.
You bet.
Appreciate your help.
Appreciate it.
Steve. Thanks. Aloha. Well, it's been about an hour and a half or so since I had my quantum techniques treatment. And I feel a lot better. My shoulders are a lot looser. I feel some release that came out from the treatment. And I'm looking forward to, the next couple of days and reading my code and getting better, actually. Yeah, it feels better. I really do feel more relaxed and my shoulders are not so as tight as when I came in this morning. So that's the report.
For more information about quantum techniques, visit our website at quantumtechniques.com.